Check one, check two, check one. I think we're on. Yeah. Look at this. Look at this. Huh? Nice. Oh, yeah. Don't care. It's election night, people. It is election night. Hey, guys. Welcome to a special election night sober talk. How about that? Woo! Who is sober? Who's able to stay sober during this craziness? So we got Darjack, Daryl Hanson, we got Joel Harris, we got Pat Downing, got D.A. Cruz. Yesterday was my first birthday. I celebrated sober in 25 years. Wow, D.A. How did you guys see that? DA had his first birthday. He celebrated sober. Ah, there's our cutie of the meeting here. Jennifer Marie Bowles is here, and Jennifer, I did my hair for you. What do you think about that? So let's see. Are we live? Let's see if we can switch over to this here. Make sure that we're going over here, guys. So we broadcast both on Tom Mabe Comedy and Sober Talk Live, and yeah. So hey, welcome to Sober Talk. So you're here because you want to get sober. You need to get sober. Perhaps you're just sober curious. Whatever the reason is, I'm glad you're here. I have quit many of times, and I've kind of been challenged the past few days. And I quit for 3 months. I quit for a year. I quit for 2 years, and I always go back out. It doesn't matter if I had 2 days or 2 years. I always go back out, and I finally realized that being alcohol free is one thing, but being alcohol free and happy that's a totally different thing. So I'm trying something different this time. I'm working the steps. I love a lot of the steps, and some of the steps I think are just total BS. That's me. We do not push any one program here. There's people who quit with medication. There's people who quit with religion. People who quit with diet and exercise. Regardless, but they say, how do you know if you have a drinking problem? It's real simple. If it causes problems, if you're losing your job, if you're going to jail, if you're getting a DUI, if you can't be a good parent, if you're like me, you yell at your kids, yell at your wife, So, anywho, it's a challenging time right now. I know a lot of people are really stressed out about the election. Oh, and by the way, I got my braces tightened today, and I put a live video up earlier on my other channel, on my other Facebook page, and people said, "You're slurring your words. You're drunk." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I haven't had a drink in 111 days. Nothing." So, all right. So it's gonna be. I'll stick with being sober. I can't handle the pressure America has given us. That's Hayden Tyler. Hi, Hayden. Welcome to the show. And let's go over to. I want to go over to sober talking. I don't know if something seems weird. Are you guys seeing comments? Are you seeing comments here? Yeah, I yell at myself. There's there. Tino Labate. Yeah, hello. I would hate to have a start all over. Yeah, I hate to have a start all over too. And there's Jennifer. She's glad to be here. Michael May. Hey, howdy, y'all. Hope everyone had a great day. Michael's good. I went and voted. I voted, and it's funny. I'm a kind of a most of you guys know my political beliefs, but I don't talk about them. And a lot of my Republican friends are freaking out right now. A lot of my Democratic friends are freaking out right now, and I get it. Everyone has their their beliefs and what they think will happen if one or the other gets elected. Anywho, so Bill Malloy's here. So, all right, we are going to. This is kind of we were not going to do a sober talk tonight, but I decided I kind of needed one, and a lot of people have reached out to me since I was really struggling, I guess, yesterday with the steps, and I said, what's wrong with me? Why can I not get these simple steps? What the hell's going on? and a lot of people will worry about me. I'm not drinking. I'm not going to drink. I'm going to defend those 110 days or 111 days, whatever they may be, and just say that I say that Serenity Prayer too. I kind of say that quite a bit, and I don't struggle with my religion or my faith, but I do. I was talking to someone off the air today about my my higher power is both God and the universe. I really that's my my higher power. So, anywho, let's just go to the phone. This is going to be we're going to have a light crowd tonight because it is election night and everyone's watching the coverage. Uh, yeah, let's go to the phone here. Let's call our first caller here. We're only going to have two or three callers tonight because it's a light call. So, hello.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Michael, how are you doing, buddy?
Oh, doing.
Doing? Are you
Been a long day.
did you are you surviving the politics? We don't I don't want to talk about politics or who you for or who you hate or whatever, but are you does it make you want to drink?
No, I
Good.
did my part, and after that, it's out of my hands.
Wow. What a great way to put it. I did my part and it's out of my hands. So that's well that kind of simplifies it, doesn't it?
Yep.
I wish I could think of a whole lot about life. So you and I
What happens, happens.
what happens happens. So you and I were talking about you're in recovery and you've been in and out of you've been arrested in and out of jail. Have you been in and out of rehab? Have you done stints in rehab before?
I did rehab. First one was when I was 19. Got
Okay.
my first DUI. Spent a month in jail. Spent a month in a rehab center. Was the only way I could get out of jail. And other than that, I've been sent to classes. Uh, Drinking classes, drug classes. Um, and let's see, I did that a couple of different times getting out of jail. And then I've been to AA on my own a few times.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, After I got off house arrest one time, I was going to meetings and I never wanted it.
You never wanted it.
I,
Forced to go. But I guess it was when, and I was talking to someone else earlier about this same thing. When it's your decision to get sober, and it's a different ball game, right?
yep. Step one, if you honestly do step one, if you're true to yourself and realize that you have a problem and you need to quit and you need help, the rest is a cakewalk. It's like a weight being lifted off your shoulders. I ain't lying. Now, I ain't saying every day, is easy.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard. You still got to put some work into it. But I tell you what, if you are honest with yourself, like I was this last time, I knew for years and years that I was an alcoholic. I knew I needed to quit drinking. But when I finally sat down and said, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. I'm ruining everybody's life and mine, everybody around me. It was like, they'd say that weight gets lifted off your shoulders. And man, I tell you what, when that happens, it makes it a lot easier. And, it's just this time quitting, I wanted to quit, I knew I needed to quit. And I've been happy quitting this time.
Yeah.
That all the times before I just wanted to quit to get people off my backs. This time I wanted to quit because I wanted me off my back. I was tired of being a drunk.
Yeah.
And every day, like I said, there's good days and bad days. But the longer you stay sober, the easier the bad days are to deal with.
Yes, and you start defending those sober days. I was talking to a guy today, and he was like, man, tell me it's going to be all right. Tell me it's going to be all right. And I'm like, well, first of all, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a, I'm just part. I think that a routine, what do you call it? Structure. I think structure is really big in recovery, and I think uh, I think that this sober talk helps a lot of people. But I mean,
It,
I told the person, this guy was just the same story you just had, same story I've heard a million times. Oh my gosh, I in and out of
mm-hmm.
rehab and drunk. I don't have a place to live now. I am breaking up with my girlfriend, and well, what just every bad thing you could think of. And I'm just kind of ad libbing here on but uh, the uh, the things just kind of get better once you stop drinking. They really do, and I don't want to say that. I know there is hope. I don't know what's going to work for the individual, but I see people here. I see people here every day who's they've been sober for 10 years or 10 days and they feel great. It just stay and quit. How do you stay quit? Do you think it's a constant reminder of, meetings and shows like this? I mean, what is it that keeps you quit?
Just being happy, finally. Like I said, not everything happens to everybody overnight. I got lucky. My wife has stayed and put up with me. Actually, we're celebrating our 25-year anniversary tomorrow.
Congrats. Yeah, that's great.
And
25 years. Is that together or is that married?
Married, 26 together, 25
let me
married.
get this straight. You were like a drunk most of your marriage, and she's still with you.
Yep.
Daggone, you have a lot of money, don't you? Because I've seen you're not that good looking of a guy. I'm not.
No. No.
Well,
I really don't got a whole lot for me going except I can cook. Put it that way. I cook.
Yeah, they say the best way to a woman's heart is through her stomach.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's hilarious. So that's so remaining happy. So, but what happened?
Staying happy, and like you say, structure in the beginning. I mean, I took off, feet hit the floor, and I was going to church 2 or 3 nights a week. And when I wasn't at church, I was in meetings. And
gotcha.
There's the whole. I needed it, and I knew I needed it, and I just asked my wife to step back. I wasn't saying I'm sorry again. I wasn't telling her I was going to quit again. I was going to prove it.
Yeah.
But this time I was proving it to myself, Sobriety is a team sport. I mean, you got to have God. You got to have a higher power. You got to have your sober friends, whether it be groups, recovery groups, treatment centers, whatever, sober talk. But, there's no I in team, but there is an I in sobriety. And that's where, it's selfless towards others, but you almost have to be a bit selfish for yourself, because if you want it for yourself, that's where the main part of it is. You can't want it to get the cops off your back. You can't want to stay sober to get your wife off your back. You can't want it to get your kids back. You got to want it for you. And being selfish in that is, I've been selfish with everybody else's stuff my whole life. But this time I was selfish for me, for my sobriety. And that, it's different for everybody.
Sometimes I hear, Michael, that people go, first you got to be selfish, and then you got to be selfless, where you're willing to do anything and everything for everybody. Every day I talk to people, I talked to 9 people today. Nine, yeah, I think it was 9 because kind of, and I love helping. I love talking and doing what I can. Is so selfish at first, doing it for you. I'm getting sober for me, and then you got to be selfless. Then you
can start giving it away to keep it.
Yes, giving away to. I like that. So Mike Monty says this caller is telling my story. Yeah.
And I have heard this story from everybody else, and I mean, in a lot of ways, we're all exactly alike. We got different different stories in different areas. Some people have been in jail, some people have. We're all tired of being drunks,
Yeah.
and some people lose their families. Some people I've been lucky to keep mine, but we all, we're all fighting for the same thing,
Yeah.
and we're all similar in more ways than just one, and that's what makes
Jennifer,
sober families great.
yeah. Jennifer says this guy is the real deal. She also says she's sick and tired of being sick and tired. And but we
Mm-hmm.
we hear that a lot. My buddy Jim Givens. I'm tripping over my braces here. Jim Givens. He's been sober for uh, about a little, almost a month and a half, and he started on this show. And this is his only. I said, dude, this can't be your only outlet. You got to have. This is kind of just a stepping stone for some kind of a some kind of treatment of some sort. But he always says, "I'm sick. I got sick and tired of being sick and tired."
Mm-hmm.
And that's the
And
go ahead.
I tell you what, it don't matter if you've got 30 years or 30 minutes. If you're working for it, it's just as hard for that guy for 32 years than it is for 30 minutes. You know, you've always got it going there. We talked last night about, your sobriety's in the background or alcohol's in the background doing push-ups,
Right. Yeah.
ready to jump back on you again. Well, you got 110 days. I've got 4.5 years,
Wow.
but we've all got 24 hours. Everybody woke up this morning saying they wanted to be sober. So I really don't have any more than you do or the next person
Yeah.
because I've got today. So you can hear the cliches. That's one thing. Years ago when I was 19, I was in rehab center. I started hearing all these. I wasn't listening, but I was hearing them.
Mm-hmm.
And then all the meetings I went to, there was more the cliche. And I was just thinking, man, these are just ridiculous. There's no way people can live like this. It's just all the same people saying the same stuff. But when you actually put yourself in their shoes for a change, like I am this time, you hear what they're saying. You listen to them. And those cliches, yeah, you hate to wear them out. But for newcomers, they need to hear them. And old timers, that they're the ones that we heard them from to begin with. So they keep preaching them, and
Yeah.
by God, they keep working.
Yeah. There's one thing that I love in the Big Book, and for those people who aren't familiar, what the Big Book is, the Big Book is AA, it's like the AA Bible, and
Mm-hmm.
it talks about unawakening. Are you familiar with the unawakening prayer that I got addicted? It's like unawakening. Let us think about the 24 hours ahead. We consider our plans for the day. Before we begin, we ask God to direct our thinking, especially ask that that it be divorced from self-pity, dishonest, or self-seeking motives. And that's a lot with me, man. I just, I said last night about, usually alcoholics or, just most insecure people who ever walk the face of the earth, or they're extremely cocky, And I mean, here I am. I'm very insecure. I'll get up in front of thousands of people and do a show, and I'm like, judge me. And it's like, why am I doing this to myself? And I'm finally getting, I want that, not insecure, not cocky. I want to be just confident and happy. No self pity, no mind screwing things. I had a guy. I reached out to our tech guy. Said his name's Brad. Brad's a dear friend. He worked on my TV show for CMTs. He's one of the top guys in the region. And here's where my mind went. I said, Brad, anyway, can I book you to come over and do some stuff in the studio? And got some wiring, this and that. A couple cameras are acting up. And he got back to me and he goes, hey Tom, he said, I just don't know when I'm going to be able to fit you in. I don't know. I just maybe toward the end of the end of the month, maybe. And I'm thinking, oh God, Brad's mad at me. I said something wrong. I did something wrong. And that's how. Why do I do that? And I'm trying. That's why I love the unawakening prayer. And I got that's from AA, and I also got that from my app, spiritual toolkit that I have on my phone. But I gotta get out of that. You know, are you mad at me? Are you mad at me? And both my
Yeah.
kids are the exact same way. And I'm like, oh God, I don't want them to have this ailment that
Yeah,
I have. You know.
that comes with learning to be sober too. I mean, I know during my drunken years that I was an instant gratification. Got to have it right now, no matter what it was. And this program will teach you patience
Yeah.
and how to deal with people, and the humble part of it is great. I mean, I'm not used to being nice. I've always been I've been a crazy, funny idiot most of my life.
Right.
But as far as you know, hugging somebody, you know, telling people I love them, and praying, talking about my faith in public, you know, uh, that that took a that took a while to get used to, and but having a clear head
Yeah.
really made it easier. I've been through all that stuff before, but I just never could feel comfortable with it, and it took a while to get used to. But now, heck, meetings, hugs, that great time. Telling people I love them,
Yeah.
just because I do. It's a whole new, just better side of life now.
Oh no, I know. Hey, let me.
I'm still big and crazy, but I love life and I love people a lot more.
Yeah, and I can relate to that. So Jennifer says, I have a plan to go to rehab in Bowling Green. I'm scared and I don't know if I'm actually ready. What do you think about that? She says here.
Scared. That's okay to be scared. We're all scared. I was scared out of my gourd when I quit drinking. The night I quit, I was scared crapless. I mean, uh, you don't. That's where the group and the meetings will help you realize. Don't think about quitting drinking for the rest of your life.
Oh, okay.
That terrifies people. I'm gonna have to quit drinking forever. Don't no. I gotta quit drinking today, and then
But
tomorrow I gotta
yeah,
quit
yeah,
drinking today.
yeah.
Scared going to rehab? Well, I tell you what, you're brave. If that's what she wants to do, she's brave for even having the thought in her head.
Yeah,
But
that's great.
you got to make drastic changes to make drastic changes.
Yeah, drastic
You want
measures.
sober?
Yeah,
Go get it.
yeah. And when you get out of rehab, Jennifer, just really, someone said, I think Lulu's a girl, a comment I read earlier says, sober friends are the best. And maybe for a while, all my friends, they go watch the game and drink beer and blah blah, blah. They all do that. I can't necessarily do it, but I'm able to hang out with them. But
Mhm.
initially, you know, figure out if you can or you can't. I can't hang out in every situation. I got a place on the beach, and I was talking a few shows ago about doing a guys trip. We're all going to the beach and we're gonna play golf, and they're gonna drink, and I just be the sober skipper. They're on the water, and and everyone said, no, you can't do. Sober talk told me you can't do that. You can't do that, and I didn't
You're
do
not
it.
ready for that yet.
Yeah, I mean, I could go over a buddy's house or meet him at, Buffalo Wild Wings for, and watch the game while they drink beer, but I can't be gone a week, at the beach while they're drink. It's a drink fest for them. But Jennifer, when you get out, just be careful who you hang with. Just really, really try
Don't
to
go
just,
back to the way you were. You can't. I mean,
yeah, too soon, right?
and like I said, your true friends will stick with you and back you, and enablers will just try to drag you back to where they are. It's rough losing people, but the new people that you will meet in rehab, in groups, in meetings, I tell you what, like I've said before, they'll bend over backwards to help you with no reward. And whereas, I had buddies that would come and help me, but they wanted to make sure I had beer there for them. You know,
You got beer? Yeah.
yeah, yeah. You guys come over and
How
help me
many?
pour
How many?
concrete. You know, I got 10 cases of beer over here. Well, by God, they'd come out of the woodwork doing that. But
How
you
many?
know,
How many? How many
now,
friends do you have? How many friends do you have that you think? Anyone? How many boyfriends, girlfriends, or people out there, husbands, wives, do you think are alcoholics? Beside yourself, do you have people in your circle and you're like, I want to say something, but it's really not my place? People just kind of got to be ready for it, right?
yeah, yeah. Uh, Actually, I've been struggling with a couple close people that I have in my life,
Mm-hmm.
and I could talk until I'm blue in the face. Until they decide, it it's not up to me; it's up to them. You know, I had my wife preach me, my kids, you know, my parents and friends, and you know, it did no good. I mean, hell, I was in and out of jail, you know, 8 times, 8 9 times, and didn't drive for 10 years. You know, my only brother OD'd, and that sent me farther into drinking than you know what a normal person would have quit.
Mm-hmm.
A rational person would have quit, but it sent me farther over than I ever would have imagined. I mean, it sent me in a deeper, darker place than I ever would have imagined I'd have been in. But you know, like I said, I knew for a long time that I was an alcoholic, but I just didn't want to quit until I quit.
Yeah, I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. Daryl says, no one can call another person an alcoholic. Only the person can admit it to themselves. I've had plenty of people call me an alcoholic. So, yeah,
uh,
that's
People knew I was an alcoholic, and so did I. So you know, if they can see it, then that kind of plants the seed. I mean, I think it does. You know, I had my wife call me an alcoholic for years, and she knew because her dad was,
yeah,
and you know, she knew the signs. Other people know the signs. I know them when I see people. You know, and I've explained this to a couple of people that I've dealt with, uh, and you know, if you get drunk and black out more than once, you got a problem. Personally, this is the way I look at it. You know, if you can drink a few drinks, get a good buzz, and quit and be okay with that, then, you know, you may not have a problem. But you were saying last night about, you know, the whole, my worst day sober is better than my best day drunk,
yeah.
you know,
People say
drink.
that, right, right.
People say that. Well, you know, I had good days drinking too when
I
I
had
could just
wonderful days.
drink.
Some of my best memories and the
I
most fun of my life when I
I
was drunk.
made a lot of good deals, did a lot of great things, met a lot of good people, and until I crossed that line. When I was just drinking, I could have a good time and be okay. But when I drank to the excess that I crossed that line from just drinking and being happy to being a drunk, that's when crap went downhill. You know, I could take a great evening, dancing, drinking, dinner party, and go back to a hotel room, black out, puke,
Yeah,
whatever happens, and wake up the next day with that remorseful feeling and be like, you know, what happened? Why did I why did I go that far with it?
right. You have no stop button. Hey, real quick, I want to read a comment. Dan Williams says a lot of great things, and he'll go say something very vulgar. I don't get you, Dan. But this is another guy. That's not the. Here's Danny Bolanos says, so crazy, but Tom, you helped me get sober. Sober talk was the little help I needed to start, and I've been clean 2 months, and I feel great. Thank you. Yeah. So I think a little bit of the accountability, people watching, structure. We
Mm-hmm.
8 o'clock every night. We're going to do sober talk, even if there's an election going on, and we got 35 people watching. So it is what. but but yeah. So you go back, you black out, and oh my gosh, that next morning when you got to call people and then you got to go look through your text and your emails. Oh, Oh my gosh, I can
Oh
say that.
yeah.
I've accidentally texted the wrong person.
Who
You
did
know.
I make mad? Where's
Oh
my
God.
car? Where am I at?
Yeah.
That remorse was just, I'm so glad to not wake up like that anymore. I
And you
mean,
got
that's
to
just,
remind yourself of those things. If you don't, it's
yeah.
real easy to go. I have to at least. And this. I don't want to. AA meetings when they talk about I lost my family, my job, and everything. It used to make me want to drink, and not all meetings are that way. I totally get it. But that's why I want to keep the show kind of light. But I think we should, we all should remember those really, bad things that we did.
Well, and that's, some people don't understand. We say we don't dwell on the past, but we don't forget it, you know, and that's what helps remind us what we don't want to go back to. I go to meetings and tell my story, tell my lead, whatever you say.
Right.
Uh, and I've, I've asked my wife to come with me and hear my story, and she's just like, no, she doesn't quite understand why we do that. And I've tried to explain it to her. She lived through it once. She doesn't need to live through it or hear it again.
Right. That's what I was
And,
thinking when you said that.
and I
Like, yeah.
understand.
Oh wow.
I see other guys when they do theirs, their wives and stuff come, but my wife is a strong woman. She don't need to go through that no more. She's been through it once and she's still here. So I'm not going to pressure her at all. But, for me, she doesn't understand for me that, I got to kind of remember all that stuff because that keeps me in check. That reminds me of the stuff that I used to do that I do not want to do anymore, which is why I want to stay happy now being the way I am.
Yeah.
So, it's kind of a cycle.
It is, and I did this thing for 2 years sober, and I would go places and this and that, and do shows, and not one beer. And just one day, I forgot. I forgot how bad I used to be, and how unhealthy I was, and how I couldn't walk up a flight of stairs or whatever. And now it's just and still I'm still a ways from recovering, although at 110 days or whatever I'm at. uh, I'm still a ways from being, I still got a foggy brain. I'm still mind screwing everything. I'm not, but I gotta tell you, I started a new, added a new thing to my structure. Every morning I grab my son. My son is 21 years old, and he's getting ready to start a new job, and I'm trying to get some structure in his life too. And my son doesn't drink, doesn't do drugs or anything. He's been dealt a couple, yeah, a couple. He's been dealt a bad hands in some ways. A genius on one level, but he has Tourette's where he'll scream out profanities and things, and it's hard for him to go anywhere if he's dropping a racial slur. But
Right.
we're getting routine, we're getting structure in his life, and this is our tomorrow will be our third day getting up and walking a mile. Right at a mile, we'll go over down to the parklands down way down like off Taylorsville Road, and we're going to start ramping that up. And he said, like today, he said, I don't want to do it today, Dad. I'm not feeling it. I said, well, you're doing it anyway. Let's go. I don't want to do it either, but if you do it, you'll see the results, and it will become routine and structure. And that's what I tell everyone. You have to have some kind of structure. And it bothers me that I know a lot of people who watch the show have not quit drinking yet. It's like going to an AA meeting drunk, or a buddy of mine, Jim's brother, the guy I was talking about earlier. His brother got a DUI driving to an AA meeting. So guys,
Oh,
try to sober up. I mean, I don't, it's your computer. Do what you want, but I want people to get something out of this, and I try to get a couple of days under your belt. Try to get 2 or 3 days, and I promise you, after that, you good chance you're going to start protecting those sober days. You're going to defend them and
hmm
not release them. But
well, I know I try not to push meetings on everybody, anybody. They work for me, but my sponsor, he cracks me up. He said, people always ask him, said, hey, you've been sober for 32 years and you still go to meetings all the time. Why do you do that? He goes, because I want another year. You know,
Wow.
I've been sober for 32 meetings or for 32 years because I go to meetings all the time. If I don't go to meetings, I don't hold myself accountable. I probably wouldn't be sober this long. You know, why do you still go to meetings? Because I need them to stay sober. And
Daryl
you know,
Hansen just said there should be Zoom meetings. There's a lot of Zoom meetings, guys. If you want to go to an AA meeting, you're talking about your guy, 32 years, one another year under his belt. If you can't go to, have you done the Zoom meetings? You could Google Zoom AA
we
and
did them. We did them all when this pandemic broke out.
uh
You
huh.
know, nobody we couldn't have any meetings anywhere, and we had Zoom meetings and celebrated birthdays and everything. You know, online. But now people are getting a little bit more resourceful on how to have meetings because online's okay, but the just camaraderie. Uh, we've been having them in garages, around campfires, outside when the weather's okay for it, and in big churches where we can spread out wearing masks and stuff. But I tell you what, man, AA families, recovery families, they're just they're just a whole new family, and the friends, way better friends. I love all of them.
Yeah,
I just can't talk enough about them.
yeah. I
We
have to
we
find
got
the
each
right.
other's back.
I have to find the right meeting. Sarah Ann says she's trying to find a meeting during the day while the kids are in school. You can find a meeting if you Google Zoom AA. I'm sure there's a meeting starting at top of the hour. I go my early worms. It's a Louisville Zoom meeting. I do at 7 a.m. Now I've missed the past. I wake up like right at 7. Or I'm on my walk or something. But I missed a few. But I'm sorry, Michael. My ADD kicked in. Are you still there?
Yep, yep. I'm listening.
So, what advice? Let's look at. I like reading the comments here. Let's look at. Okay, Sarah Ann's trying to find a meeting while her kids are at school. Lulu, she says I'm absolutely weak. 4 months yesterday. Oh, Lulu's, hang tight, hang tight. Find a Zoom meeting tonight. You can go to a Zoom meeting 3 a.m. in Australia. Let's
Mhm.
let's see. Michelle Hutton, one of our regulars. She says, I had many close friends that worked with me that knew I had a bad problem and knew I needed help, and I admitted to that to me after I got sober. And I said, why didn't you take me to get help? They said I was so mean and angry. They just withdrew themselves from me and left me alone, and hoped I would get help eventually. That shocked me. That was the Michelle Hutton. She couldn't. Yeah, and I have people too. I have people who are in the program that I've known for 10 years who have not pushed me, but because they knew I wasn't ready. Jennifer Bowles is starting. What would someone who's just in Jennifer's shoes? She's all right. I'm going to rehab. I want to go detox 7, 10 days or whatever. I don't know what she's doing, but she said she's going somewhere. What would you recommend once she got out?
Well, they've got these new halfway houses now that you can go stay in a structured environment, do the meetings, and still work. Uh, we've got a lot of people in our recovery group that came out of, I believe it's Clarksville, New Albany. There's a
Yeah.
women's halfway house down there,
So
and
does insurance cover that? That's a good question. What if you don't have a job? What if you're like homeless and I want
they
to get
they
sober?
put you to work.
They put you to work.
They they put you to work to pay for your time there.
Huh.
They either find you a job or you work within the home, cooking, cleaning, all that laundry, you know,
Yeah.
stuff like that within the home, and they help you find jobs.
That's
I
called
mean,
sober living, right? A lot of people refer to that as sober living. I actually got a friend who owns a sober living place, I think in Corydon, and is wanting to open one in Louisville. Just make sure you get into a good one. A lot of them, if they know that they're getting money from insurance or Medicaid or Medicare or whatever, hell, they'll bring
mm,
they'll bring drugs and alcohol into the house just to keep you
Right.
there. So be careful there when you're looking for sober living after rehab. But yeah, that's right. That's so you can go there. They'll help you get back on your feet, help you get a job. You can work for them. That's great. That's badass, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, there's a lot of programs out there. Like I said, we've got this safe haven that we're starting up here, and we help. This is a program to help direct people. They come in, don't know where to go, don't know where meetings are, don't know where rehabs are, and groups like this are out there, and we help point them in the right direction on what they're looking for and what they need, and you can find those all over. Just I can't stress enough, go to a meeting and just somebody will grab you, take you off to the side, and say, "What do you need? What kind of help do you need?"
Wow.
You know,
If they see you helping
it's a good
yourself, that
start.
yeah, yeah,
Free therapy. That's what AA meetings are.
free therapy.
Free therapy,
Wow.
and they got coffee to boot.
They got, well, Michael, you spent about 40 minutes with me. I really appreciate it. I am going to make one more call, and then I'm going to cut tonight's meeting a tad short because I know everyone's watching the election results and all that. And anything you want to, man, I got to tell you, you got a lot, Michael. You have a lot of fans. People or the comments are just great. I'm looking at both pages, and they people love you, and they go, "This guy's the
That's
real."
why I'm one of the two most famous people to come out of Springs Valley High School, dude.
Who's the other famous person that came out of Spring Valley?
Larry Bird.
Larry Bird.
Larry Bird and Mike Meehan, the two most famous people to come out of Springs Valley High School.
Remember earlier when I said you're just insecure or cocky? On the
Yeah.
cocky end. That's you.
By God, I used to introduce myself like that all the time, and I still do when I start my lead. I'm just like, everybody's heard of Larry Bird, and you're fixing to know Mike Meehan. So,
That's awesome. All right, Mike Meehan, I will talk with you soon, brother.
all right, you have a good day, Tom.
All right, I'll see you. Bye bye.
Later, man.
Later, buddy. Wow, that was a good. I'm so glad that he was available to talk. I wasn't even going to do sober talk tonight. Nothing. I need it. Other people need it. Let's see what we got. Let's say hi to some people over here on this other page. So let's see, Mike Kozloff. Also, when you're a drinker, you hang out with drinkers. So if you have a lifetime friends, it gets hard. After years and years of drinking, I don't know any of my friends that don't drink. Um, you have to know when you can hang out with them and when you can't. Uh, let's see here. Leroy, sobriety date 3/10/99. Wow, that's what he's been. Rock has been sober for what 21 years. Jeez Louise, congrats to that. Uh, let's see. That's okay. That's people on Tom Mabe comedy. Brenda Hayes. Hello from Nebraska. Hello, Brenda. So we're going to do one more call here, and let's see if we have missed any comments over here on Sober Talk Live. And guys, if you look at the bottom of the screen, you can go to sobertalklive.com and find uh, podcast. A lot of people just want to listen. They don't want to be seen at Sober Talk because people know when you're watching it. But if you watch it, they usually come back. If you notice the views, they come back after we're live and then watch it. But let's see, David Vernazzi. Hey, I have a friend that owns a sober living house. He has 4 houses in Ohio. He has 4 houses in Ohio. It's called Good Shepherds Ministries. Very good place to go. Um, that's what I hated in a halfway house. Jennifer apparently went to a halfway house. No one is turned away. Meetings and meetings. Bob Van Orden, outside meetings, awesome. So, all right. So, hey, Tom, sorry, y'all, I'm late. Well, Bob, we're glad you're here anyway, brother. Like I said, we're gonna be a little short tonight. You know, I don't see Carl because I think I told Carl that I wasn't going to be live tonight, and now I'm all concerned about Carl and Natalie. Bev, Natalie, and Carl are 3 anchors. The first 3 people to watch Sober Talk aren't here. because I told them that we weren't going to do it. Let's do one more call here and wrap it up with my friend here. And let's see. Daryl. Let's call Daryl. All right. Here we go, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me tonight. I always feel better after I do a sober talk. I always feel better, and I gotta get to the gym. I'm too good looking of a guy to be this out of shape. Just throwing it out there. I use humor to deal with my alcoholism. So,
Hello.
hey, Daryl, Tom Mabe, how you doing, buddy?
Hey, how you doing, brother?
I am doing
I'm good.
well. Have you been?
Oh, that's good.
Have you been keeping up with the show? Have you been watching tonight? Are you keeping up?
Oh, yeah.
Are you keeping up with CNN and MSNBC? That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I'm not really trying to watch that too much.
Yeah, that
I'll
was
just be glad once it's all over. I mean,
me too. I just want to get on, and I want to get.
yeah.
I just want to get this glitch. I wish I could just go. I'm going to Nashville on Friday to a buddy of mine wrote 5 o'clock somewhere for Alan Jackson
Yeah.
and Jim Moose Brown. And he and I wrote a song about 2020, and we're kind of finishing up writing on Friday and recording it. So it's been a tough year. It's been a tough year. Wow.
Yeah.
On one hell of a year. So how are you doing? What's the latest and greatest in your world?
I'm doing all right. I mean, I'm keeping busy. Absolutely love Sober Talk. It does help me out a lot. The Zoom meetings, I get a couple of those too, but I like this because this is a little more laid back, and I really appreciate it, and
No, thanks.
I think you're helping a lot of people, Tom, and not to put pressure on you.
Yeah, but it helps me. You know what? I'm still in
Yeah.
that selfish mode. I'm worried about me. Screw all you guys who have drinking problems. It's
Yeah.
all about me.
Well, like they say, you gotta give to get. You gotta give to receive, and it's so true. And you're definitely a giver, so you shall be receiving. And I was really concerned about you yesterday, or today from yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really worried about you and that. And I think it was who was talking, Michael. I think he was talking about all the cliches with the AA program and that.
Yeah.
And I too, I'm listening to him, and it's like, yep, I'm nodding my head, and it's like, but he was right. A lot of it really does make sense. Some of the cliches like kiss, keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
And that's one thing too, brother. Just try to keep your program simple. Don't try to overdo it. Don't try to overthink it.
And that's what I was doing. So if you're just joining us, Daryl was talking about how I didn't get the steps. I'm like, no, this is just, I'm a very smart guy. I'm good with a lot of things, but I'm in a lot of ways, I'm an idiot. I'm like an idiot savant without the savant part. I'm just an idiot sometimes. I'm like, what am I missing here? What the hell's going on? And finally something will click in. There's a little bit of latency in my brain, and I go, oh, that's what they were talking about, or this or that. And I get to the point where like, fudge this. I don't want to do it. Screw it. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. It's making me want to drink. I'm done. I'm done with this, and I gotta be careful with that. I really.
Yes, you do. That's the time that you just walk away from it, go outside, get your mind on something else, and call somebody. You get a sponsor, you call your sponsor, or you call. You can call me anytime. I mean, that's part of the program. The beauty of it too is you don't have to do this alone. We're all here for each other.
Yeah.
And my first time around, I know I told you my story. I had 24 years in the first time, got divorced. I went out for a couple months, then got remarried. Now I've been sober going on 9 years now again.
Wow.
So I've got quite a few meetings under my belt, but I don't know everything, Tom. I don't. I learn every time listening to Sober Talk. I'm picking up on things. I'm learning. like Carl. Oh my, he is a wealth of information. And
Oh, Carl's great.
uh,
Carl's
yeah, and
yeah.
Michael too. Yeah,
Oh,
it's
and
just
Durbin,
amazing.
Donnie Durbin. Geez,
Yeah,
we got yeah. Michael's great. Carl's. I mean, we have
yeah.
such a wealth of. And I try not to go to the well too many times with them, but they are so. You know.
That's what it's about, though.
Mm-hmm.
Do it. That's what it's all about, and it's a beautiful program. You know, and when I first went in to sober up, I went through treatment my first time around. I kind of had to because I guess I got pretty drunk at a
Mm-hmm.
company Christmas party and I beat this guy up pretty bad.
You did
And
what pretty
everybody,
bad?
well,
You beat someone
I
up?
yeah, pretty bad I did, yeah. And everybody's like, well, you might want to, go through the program, get yourself in, dry out, it'll look good for you when you go to court. I'm like, oh God. So it's like, yeah, okay. My employer said, yeah, they hold my job and everything. Well, turned out I didn't have to go in for 28 days. I could go to work, and then after work I'd go for 4 hours a night. And I did that for 28 days.
Yeah.
I'd drive my job, the 35 miles. I was doing that. I did that for 28 days. And I'll tell you what, the first day driving in there, I'm like, oh, I can milk through this. This won't be bad.
Right.
I'll play along. You know. And as soon as I walked in the room and I looked around and I seen all these other people and that, and it's like, I told myself, bullshit. I'm gonna take everything I can and I'm gonna learn. And I'm so glad that something in
Wow.
my head just
Nice.
snapped like that, and I did. It was just like amazing, you know. And I know some people are like, oh, all these war stories, but that's how we learn. We learn from each other's mistakes as well. It's just like with history. People don't. Well, history. What good is history? It's done. It's past. It's gone. But we can remember the mistakes that were made, and that's why I just love history in school. But I go to these meetings and I listen to these guys that got a few more 24 hours than me, and some of them it's just they just blow me away with some of the stuff they say,
Yeah, I've
and
heard
it's
that's
so fantastic. Oh,
yeah. This is
but
this is, and, and it's great to see the people who are just doing so well here. And by the way, Jennifer eats something. Jennifer says I haven't eaten today. This is idiotic. Yeah, that is pretty.
oh no,
But maybe she drank today. Who knows? Uh, that's or drank too. Maybe you drank too much last night, and you just I don't know. Eat
yeah.
something, Jennifer. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not casting.
Yeah.
Uh,
That was one thing too, Tom. I always had like my first time around when I went sobered up because it did happen at a company function and that, and I'd see people from work, at work, and they're like, "Oh, you still sober?" Or we're taking bets on how long. I'm like, "Wow,
oh,
thanks a lot, guys."
when
But
they're
yeah,
betting. Oh,
like Mike was saying,
jeez.
yeah, so like
Wow.
Mike was saying about friends, you know, that drew the line for me right away. I could tell who were my friends and who, and I did. I found out pretty much right away who my
Right.
true friends were. They weren't the ones, oh, come on, we're going to the bar after work. It's like,
Yeah.
really, guys? Yeah, to me, that's just total disrespect. They knew I was struggling the way it was, and then to throw that in someone's face, it's like, come on.
Hey, what's your
Take
last
me to
name,
a
Daryl?
meeting. But
What's your last name?
Hanson,
Okay.
Hanson,
why did
yeah.
you ask? You said there should be Zoom meetings. There are Zoom meetings. Did you not know about that?
No, yeah, I do. The person was asking. I said, well, there are Zoom meetings. There was
Oh,
somebody that was asking in the messages there about, meetings. Are there meetings available? And I said, well, yeah, there's Zoom meetings. So that's what I was saying on that. And then to Google them, because there's a lot of Zoom meetings. I know that.
I'm
But,
worried about
yeah,
Lulu. Lulu W. Lucille says
well,
she is weak. She says I'm absolutely weak. 4 months yesterday. I hate to hear that. If you need to talk, I just sent you a message, Lulu. If you need to talk, you want to go on and just share a
yeah,
little bit, you can get back with me. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap up here in about 5 minutes.
yeah.
So yeah, man. So this has been a good little hang. I'm glad we decided to do it. Friday.
Yeah, I am too. I'm glad you did. I know you
Yeah.
were talking about not having it, but I'm
Hmm.
glad you did. You know, I look forward to it. Even if I don't really participate, I sit and listen. But you know me, I'm smart enough in the comments a lot, and, but just to let people know, hey, Daryl's in here yet. But and I don't do it to be disrespectful. And I just try to
No,
keep
this is,
things a little
this is a
lighthearted.
this is a pretty chill place. You know,
Yeah,
we all want to get sober, but it's not all gloom and doom, and it's, it's just a place where we can hang. And
exactly,
sometimes I'll be
exactly.
too jokingly, I'll be, cutting up too much, and I realize, oh,
Uh,
I better tone it back. I better draw it back in a little bit because someone's really struggling right here. And one time
uh,
I was joking around on Sober Talk Facebook page. Then I switched over to Tom Mabe uh, uh, Tom Mabe comedy, and there's someone like, I
yeah,
need to talk. I'm down here. I need to talk. I was, oh my gosh, I totally missed it. So that's what I keep on trying to do. I
yeah,
keep on trying to switch back and forth. And well, man,
yeah.
brother, I'm glad you're doing well. So have you had any? You've been 9 years now. That's great. So you went
Yeah. It,
24.
it,
You
it,
got divorced, and you went out for how many
I went
months?
out a
Two
few
months.
months,
2 months.
about 3-4 months, something like that. And then I just told my girlfriend, who's now my wife, I said, hey, this just ain't it. I said I've lived a better life, and this crap of drinking and looking over my shoulder and just the worrying, like Mike was saying too about getting up in the morning, worrying, okay, who did I get in a fight with? And
Yeah, boy.
no, no,
Yeah.
there's a better life. And she jumped on with me, and it's been solid since. It's amazing. But
Greg
and then my
Pastor.
comment I had, yeah,
Go ahead.
I'm
Go.
sorry, go ahead.
I was saying Greg Pastor on over on Tom Abe Comedy says this month marks 2 years for me. Have zero desire to
Wow,
go back to that life. Man, good for you,
awesome,
Greg. I want 2 years.
good for him, good for him. I had made a comment about nobody else would call you an alcoholic. That comment that I had made,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
what that is, yeah, what I meant by that was only I can say I'm a truly an alcoholic. That for it to sit in,
Right.
people could tell me that, but for me, it's the honesty part. Like Michael was saying again, I refer back to him, but he had a lot of good stuff to say. We got to be honest with ourselves.
Yeah.
And when I can say, my name's Daryl and I'm an alcoholic, and be truthfully honest with it and feeling it, then it's just, I can't have Tom saying, well, Daryl, you're an alcoholic. Because I think people would get resentful on that. And like I said, I had people, oh, we're going to take bets to see how long you stay sober. I'm like, wow. Yeah, I worked with a bunch of phones,
Yeah,
I'll tell
yeah.
you.
No, I.
But
Well, brother,
it,
I'm going to. I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna watch this CNN and
all
Fox,
right.
and I'm gonna say, I don't want. It's hard to find one news channel that I like because
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
uh, but
Yeah. Well, you take care of yourself, man. And like I said, you ever need, you got my number. Just call. Um,
Daryl
don't ever be
Hanson.
afraid to call.
Now,
Yeah.
you're married to Jackie, or is that who you with? That what's your wife's name?
Jackie's my wife.
Yeah.
Correct. Yes. Yeah.
And where are you guys based out of?
So,
What part of the country are you guys in?
and we're in Wisconsin.
That's right,
Little
Wisconsin.
little town called Clintonville, Wisconsin. It's the birthplace of the 4-wheel drive. I don't know if
Wow.
you ever heard of the 4-wheel drive, the Seagrave fire truck. It's the hometown of that.
Well, I'll be
So
darned.
yeah,
Ha!
yep,
All right,
that's
brother.
where the 4-wheel drive started here in Clintonville. So
Well, there you go.
yeah, well you take care of yourself, brother. Good talking to you as always, and I hope everybody has an awesome night.
Thanks, brother. Good talking with you. I'll talk to you soon.
Yep,
Bye.
bye.
Well, there you go, guys. The real contest here is second place. That's Layton Province. I don't know what he's talking about. David Vernazzi. David, how are you doing on your sobriety? Have you made it? Don't lie to me, dude. So I banned David from the show for from calling me for 5 days. I said, until you get 5 days under your belt, I'm not going to talk with you. So I'm curious to see how David is doing. So guys, I love you very much, man. I'm glad y'all tuned in, and we were the little sober crowd that could tonight. And Natalie says, "Do not watch do not watch the news." Michelle Hutton just says head. Oh, hold on. Just paying, but laughter is good. Keep your head. Okay, that's a correction. I'm sorry, Michelle. I just saw. Anyway, I'll edit that part out. So, all right. Joel, thanks, Mr. Mabe. All right, guys. Yeah, I'm going to go home and watch this unfold, whatever we have. I don't think we're going to know anything tonight. And it is what it is. I did go vote, and that's cool. So, all right, we'll talk to y'all soon. Thanks. Bye.